Welcome back to the Claw Pod. I love it when we have 4 screens up because that means that we have a guest, and Kevin joining us back again today. Kind of our once a month thing. We check in to see how Kevin's doing. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here too. Just had a great time. Just the other day, we got back and did a podcast with a real popular guy. We're looking forward to that. What a nice guy too. Talk to the boys about it.
Theo Vaughn. Dad, you're going to be on the Theo Vaughn podcast.
Yeah.
Dad didn't know who he was until we got out there, and so it was actually perfect.
No, I looked into it.
It was perfect.
You got to let me ask you this: Theo Vaughn. Yeah, he's just missing the Erich from the end of it. I mean, would Theo Vaughn make a better Vaughn Eric than Lance back in the day, or?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, okay. we get along so. I like the guy, and I'm telling you. I think he's leaving off the Erich part for some reason, but he might be embarrassed about us or something. But
I don't think
Theo Vaughn Eric should be that guy's name because he's almost like one of us.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too, man. He could probably fit right in if he come back and spend a little time with you guys, right?
Yeah. He's a smart guy too. He's really,
he really is, smart. Man. He's like deceivingly smart. Like you think. Because he's not playing a role because I really think it's genuinely him. Yeah, but it's so cool when they put. True. Yeah, he's a comedian, and there's definitely a sign. I feel like you got to be pretty smart to be a comedian. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, you got to have some drama too.
Yeah, to be that creative, you have to be an intelligent guy. He is really. I don't want to blow his cover, but that guy is straight up. He's all right. He's good.
Well, we look forward to that podcast coming out, hopefully here in the next few weeks.
It's going to be a good one, man. Me and Ross were getting choked up. It was one of the best ones I've heard.
So did you get to hear it, or were you there for it?
Yeah, we were there for it. And so it was front row seats. And unfortunately, we didn't get to go to Theo's show after, but he invited us and all that stuff. And so who knows?
That guy sells out everywhere. Did you know he sold out that? We knew he had a show to do that night, and it was sold out. And then he went to Amarillo and a town up in Oklahoma and he sells out everywhere he goes.
He does. He sold out the venue that's right by my house the night before he was there in San Antonio.
So, really?
Really?
Yeah. Huge success.
Maybe he is a Vaughn Eric, guys.
He could be. Yeah. Was he wearing shoes or was he barefoot?
Yeah. See,
I didn't think to look, but I should have checked.
He had his bases covered. He's wearing cowboy boots. So
smart.
That's right. That's right.
Smart. Good day. I'm looking forward to that Theo Vaughn podcast. Also, something else I noticed: there's a couple of guys that look familiar in this picture with Goldberg. Do you guys know who these two? I know there's 4 or 5 guys here in this photo, including Goldberg, but that looks like Ross and Marshall.
The Jack Handsome one on the right is definitely me.
Well, I know that I saw him on Ariel Helwani just about a week ago, and he was talking about prepping for his comeback. I didn't know that that was including jackhammering and spearing a couple of Vaughn Erics in training.
Oh yeah. He asked us. He asked us if we would be willing to team up with him for this time, and we were like. Nice. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
How could I say no?
Yep.
And I said, we'll gladly be punching bags for you, Mr. Bill.
Yep.
And
I bet.
We worked out with him just the other day and had a good workout, got a taste of the day in the life of Bill Goldberg. And yeah, man, his setup is so sick. He's got a garage with every sick muscle car you can think of. And then upstairs, he's got this state-of-the-art gym. And it was so cool. Super cool.
Wow. Yeah. Well, looking forward to whatever match that is, whenever that happens. Supposedly going to have his last one in WWE at some point in 2025, at least according to that interview. And can't wait to hear more from you guys training with him. Today, though, we're here to remember a legend that passed away. And man, what a life! At 99 years old, we're remembering Bill Mercer. Of course, if you grew up, anywhere in my time. Or maybe you've grown up watching World Class Championship Wrestling on Peacock and the WWE channel there, or just on YouTube. His voice is unmistakable, and he was a solo play-by-play guy that's like doing a podcast by yourself. How in the world was he so good at doing play-by-play and calling all the action in world-class championship wrestling all those years? But wrestling's not all that Bill did. Longtime announcer, of course, in wrestling, play-by-play for the Texas Rangers, the Chicago White Sox, the Dallas Cowboys, reported on the JFK assassination for Dallas TV stations. I think he was even the one that actually informed Lee Harvey Oswald that he was going to be charged with JFK's death. Known really in world class, not only for play-by-play, but you guys were some of the first, Kevin, to ever do these vignettes, and Bill was right in the middle of all of those. Do you have one that you remember and stands out for you?
Well, Bill was our announcer when I played at North Texas State University too.
Okay,
he did those games too. But you remember when Oswald said he was yelling at, "I'm a patsy, I'm a patsy."
Yes.
Well, that was Bill that he was talking to. Bill, and there were only two newsmen there that day. One was Bill Mercer, and the other was Jerry Haynes, Mr. Peppermint here in Dallas. And he was one of my dad's old schoolmates too. They knew each other real well.
Man,
and Mr. Peppermint.
I didn't know he was in the Navy. I wanted to learn about him. Is honestly, Dad, it was after we did the North Texas thing with him. I met him, and that wasn't the first time meeting him, but just getting to know him a little better, because I was like, man, he's an Oklahoma boy. I want to learn more about him. But yeah, he was in the Navy, I believe, and kind of went into broadcasting right after that. Right, I'm pretty sure.
He's in the Navy and fought in World War II.
Yeah, that's right. He fought in World War II. That's what I thought was cool. I was like, dang,
what a life he lived.
Heck yeah. And he lived a full life. Didn't he die at 99?
99.
That is
definitely a full life. Kevin, what were some of, like I mentioned, some of the vignettes were kind of the things that I remember. Of course, play-by-play and all in every show. But like I said, he was the first to really step up and do those vignettes with you guys. Is there one you remember with Bill, either being out at the house or I know that.
I sure do. We went out to do a remote out there at Wet and Wild by Six Flags out there on the highway. It was packed, a summer day, and it was oh man! And so we had Bugsy McGraw, that big goof, you remember? And then
yes,
David
I do remember.
Curry and I were there, and I think Dave was there. But that was something else. Bill went up to that top of that really big water slide, and he was going to interview Bugsy. Well, he was going to go down it, and Curry and I were going to go down too, but we're just standing there, but we're just, waiting. And Bugsy pushed Bill down that slide. He had his microphone and everything, went flying down that thing, banging his head on it and everything. And he had that microphone in his hand, but it jerked right out of the machine as he's going down. But he's holding on to it anyway. And it was just so funny.
I heard Bill tell that story, and because that wasn't planned, they had to make him do it 3 or 4 more times to get different shots of him going down to different places on the slide.
Oh man, yeah.
That's incredible. It's crazy. His impact in wrestling was amazing, but he was only play-by-play for World Class for 5 years, 82 to 87. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow. Dang, I feel like you covered so much ground, man.
That's about how long World Class lasted too. It was with the deaths, it became kind of painful to watch for people,
Dang, Dad, I didn't realize that. That was a powerful time in a short time,
Most think about the way people talk about Uncle Dave. He was such a technician. He was so fluid, the way he could go into a reversal on a submission, a takedown, a pin, everything. Like, every wrestler has 10 or 12 counters to every hold they would put on us, or a reversal for that hold, or an escape from that hold. But you think, okay, what can I do? And you think of it. But my brother Dave would think of it immediately and go right into the perfect counter or whatever he was doing. It was just, he was really an enigma. He was something else.
To think he did all that in his 20s, early 20s, is
and us those short years of World Class. 25 years old, he was dead.
Golly.
Yeah. Well, and Bill kind of guided us as fans through the tragedies that happened with your family, Kevin.
Oh, Bill loved Dave. He really did love Dave. And it was, I remember Bill told me about when he shot that for Dave. It was like, it took him so long just to straighten his face. You know, he loved Dave so much. Bill didn't smoke or drink. You know, he was a good man, but he did love hard. He has a daughter that's Rachel, a sweet girl that she took such good care of him. You know, just like Kristen to me. You know, my daughter Kristen. You know, she'll run alongside me, make sure I have everything I need, just like a old man's daughter should be, I guess. But Bill, yeah.
Man, God bless him and the Mercer family. I mean, that's him living a full life up to 99 is like deserving, you know, because he definitely had all the godly attributes, honor, a good name, and long life. He had, 99 years.
Yeah,
it's a good life.
The payment for wisdom.
Kevin, do you remember how Bill came into working with you guys at World Class?
No, I really don't. I don't remember. I was a young kid, you know. I just remember he was our announcer. You know, he was our announcer at North Texas. And
there you go.
Oh yeah, I do kind of remember that. We used to shoot the Fort Worth show over at the Northside Coliseum in Fort Worth, and it was really a big rodeo arena. But also once a week they had a country western show there. You know, kind of like the Sportatorium did with Willie Nelson and Elvis Presley and those guys.
Sure.
But it was called the Cowbell Arena. That's what they called it.
Wow.
And so Dan Coates was our first guy, and he had a connection with the Cowbell Arena, and he was always plugging it. You know, well, we'll see you next week right after the Cowbell Arena, and you know, it would irritate my dad. You know, we wanted to talk about the show, and he would keep bringing up, you know, eating at this restaurant, you know, all that kind of stuff where he's getting a break and stuff. You know?
Yeah, of course. And
so, oh boy,
man, Dad had a good memory. I'm looking up information on Bill, and you almost read it perfectly. But
really?
Yeah, that was cool. Good job.
That's awesome.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Bill became our guy. My dad was just fed up with Dan Coates, and we were at home one night. Yeah, and we were at home, and my dad, like, when something was really important on TV, he'd watch it like this. He'd look right at it.
Yeah, sure.
and so he was doing like that, and so we were all quiet, you know, because Dad was intense.
Dad's watching. Yeah.
And he went, oh, and he grabbed his glasses and smashed them on the floor and went, oh, you son of a bitch. And that was the last day of Dan Coates.
What?
Yeah.
And the first day of Bill, the next show.
Yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah.
How about that?
I guess he started announcing, I guess, sports and wrestling in the 50s, I guess, in Oklahoma, and then he relocated to Texas, and that's when it all started. But yeah, he succeeded Dan. So, Dad, you were on it with that.
Hey, I'll tell you something else too about Bill. Back when the Jarrett and all that stuff, after all that had passed, and I retired. Wrestling had stopped being fun. I didn't want to keep doing it. You know, I've told about before, but I went down. I wanted to move into my whole family down to Costa Rica, into the jungle down there, and I loved it down there. I went all over Costa Rica, and I found, you know, where the Atlantic side, the Pacific side, and the jungle in the south, and dry in the north, and San Jose in the middle, and it was just, you know, perfect for me at the time. But I couldn't. There's a lot of corruption down there, you know, and so but I took Bill and Mickey Grant with me to put our show out on their state TV stations down there, 3, 6, and 12, and it was, well, I shouldn't name anybody, but anyway, we took the TV down, our shows, and we got this great TV show that's been proven all over the world to be a huge rating booster, you know, and these guys should have gone if I would have gone anywhere in the world with that show, they would have been silly in there and done anything for it. I mean, 'cause that show sells itself, you know.
Yeah.
But they were kind of cool about it, and I said, "What's going on?" And there's a guy that's kind of a celebrity there, and he said, "Come here, Kev, come here." We kind of I went outside with him, and he told me that in Central America, people don't care about ratings. It's all about getting the family elected president that owns the station. This is, 20 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like that's just it's for one thing. If you if you buy land there, then somebody can come out and if you ever leave, a local can come out and plant a coconut tree on that land, and it's theirs. And so you have to find a lawyer. To get them off. Well, your real estate agent doubles as a lawyer too, and so that's a little scam they do. Where they'll and there's a whole lot more. It was just it's just, and then if you're ever accused of a crime in Central America, in America you're innocent till you're proven guilty, but in Central America you're guilty first. You have to prove your innocence. And there's a lot of stuff like that. It just
that's freaking scary. Gosh.
Yeah. And so we didn't go there, and instead we went to Kauai, and that's where I went. But I did love Costa Rica especially down south of Capos and Hawko with the waterfalls and all the rain and the wildlife. It's beautiful.
Thank you for not moving us to Costa Rica. That would have been a struggle, boy. Man,
you had to learn Spanish too.
I ain't learned. If I went to Japan for 3 or 4 years and I was so stubborn I didn't learn a lick, I wouldn't do the same. I wouldn't do the same thing in Costa Rica.
Well, Ross sure learned it. Ross knows a lot of Japanese.
Yeah,
I don't want to put him on the spot, but I know
mostly how to beg.
Yeah. Where's my hotel?
Yeah. I need a man, a police officer, help. That's all he knows.
How much Japanese did Bill Mercer? How much Japanese did Bill Mercer know?
Oh, Bill. Now Bill didn't. I don't know if Bill ever went to Japan, but that was a thing for wrestling back then. It was like we would do 3 and 5 week tours of Japan. Like about 5 of each. About 4 a year, 4 5 week tours and 4 3 week tours. It was a lot of time in Japan. It was hard work over there. And,
I mentioned, or actually, Marshall, you mentioned that the Bill was born in Oklahoma. Okie from Muskogee for sure. Served in the Navy, but also he is in the Texas Radio Hall of Fame and the Texas Sports Hall of Fame.
That's what I was going to ask, is if wrestling was such a short part of his career, like how many Hall of Fames is he in? Because if he made such a like an impact in wrestling, because I didn't know that he called the Super Bowl in 1972. That's like crazy. And a whole bunch of Cowboy games, like a ton of Ice Bowl and all these other games. But Dave, so wrestling was really like a pretty short time in his life then, right? Like, or how many years?
So, yeah, son. I guess so. Yeah. Well, he, good 20 years of his life, but a guy like Bill, I'm used to seeing him as a friend, but really he was a big celebrity guy. He was, in Israel, he was one of the biggest ones on our card. The people loved Bill over there. Yeah.
Really?
And he did go to Israel with us.
Do you have an Israel story with Bill you could share?
No, he stayed over at the other hotel with the bad guys. I don't know any of those stories, but
with the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's kinda cool. They split you guys up in hotels. The heels and baby faces. I wish they still did that.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned the Hall of Fames that he is in, and the Radio Hall of Fame in Texas and the Sports Hall of Fame in Texas. How long, what would it take, you think, to get him into the WWE Hall of Fame? I know you're there.
Oh man. I don't have anything to do with that. I wouldn't know, but I would sure say he deserved some kind of accolade like that, because he was really so he just didn't brag. I didn't always know these Hall of Fames and stuff like that, but he never popped off about himself being the guy with Oswald and all that. I just heard this after he died.
His voice was so. His voice was was just so perfect for radio. It gave like that legitimacy and that I'm just reporting on what I'm seeing. It was perfect for that.
Dude, especially back then, he had the perfect we're sitting here. He talked like this. I was like perfect. The Bill Mercer. We called it the Bill Mercer our whole lives. When Ross and I would play pickup football in the backyard.
Yep. Ross always do the announcer part too.
Yeah, Ross would do Marshall sucks on the play. He'd always do that.
I would do live commentary as Bill Mercer.
Marshall's crying and he'd go tell dad on the play. Back in my head.
That's incredible. What a life he led. 99 years old when he passed away. Saw him at the premiere of the Iron Claw in Dallas when that went down. I know that he had a chance to come out and be a part of the festivities there.
I was confused that he had a short announcing career. Wrestling career. I meant world class because world class was so short lived. But hey, I didn't know he's in wrestling as long as he was. But 100% he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And if WWE is it's like the if you did something notable in wrestling, and since they pretty much owned everything from back then, I feel like that would be a nice touch. I wish they could have done it while he was alive. I mean, 99 years old. I was thinking like, man, 2026, Bill's going to be 100. I was thinking that a few months ago.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of, wish he would have made it.
I know that you guys we talked about last week on the podcast, the RCW event happening out there that happened out there at the Vaughn Eric Ranch. When you do, Kevin, I assume that you had a great time getting together with fans and you didn't have to travel far from home.
No, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was the perfect show. It
really was.
House and everybody came to see me. That was great.
Everybody can see your place.
we had to like escort Dad out because they're all at his property and he's happy to see him, so he wants to hang out. Yeah. He wants to hang out, but I was like, Dad, these people paid money to come early to see you. So once the show starts, you got to skedaddle, and then. He couldn't control himself. He came back towards the end and got involved in a match. Clawed somebody, man. It was
like,
good.
Yeah.
You guys have plans?
I'm sorry about that.
I loved it.
But people, they're so nice. They come to see you, and the people that paid extra, I never did a lot of that. I want to go say hi to everybody, but I understand the rule. I can see why there's such a thing. But I did mingle with everybody. We all did.
You did. And I remember when Ross and I were signing autographs in Oklahoma, you came with us on this one trip, and we haven't really signed autographs with you yet until this point. And I remember on the car ride over there, you told us, man, I remember me and my brothers, we'd be kind of annoyed when Granddad would come with us to sign autographs because he would talk up a storm with each fan. Oh, yeah. And what did you do? You spent.
I know, son. Isn't that something that it happens over and over? I know it was me and Dave and Kerry and I. When we did autographs, the line would wrap around the building, and so the people would be standing in the heat, and so we'd want to get everybody done, but you can't be mean to people. But come on, keep moving, let's get more.
Yes.
Come on, let's move. And we had a good system, but Dad came to do an autograph session with us one time. Oh no. And he wanted to talk to everybody. And it was just, people were standing there and.
Oh man, God bless them. God bless them. But yeah, and I can see how that can get more and more sweet because I can tell the older my dad's getting, the more precious life becomes. And, he means it when he spends time with fans and talks to them and hears them out
and
stuff. So it's like you can't get mad at him for it, but it looks bad when me and Ross are like, all right, let's keep the line moving. All right. Let's talk it more walkie,
Yeah, y'all don't do that.
You need a bad guy.
But it's hard. How can you not? Yeah, when somebody likes you, you just gotta like them too.
It's the thing is you'll be talking to somebody and then they're telling you something like a good story that you're genuinely interested in. But when there is people standing in the hot sun with kids and stuff, it's like, shoot, I know line's got to move.
Do you have plans on another RCW event?
Yes, we do. Ross, you remember the date?
July 6th.
July 6th.
Ooh.
We coming
July
back.
6th? Y'all are going to do another one that soon?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That could be great, man.
That could be great.
I'm glad.
I think Dad held some words back. That could be great. What do you got to say, Paps?
It's going to be hot, right?
Yeah. He's going to tell us something later.
It's going to be
July 6th.
No,
too early.
4 months. No. I don't think so. I think it's 4 months. That ought to be great.
Yeah, Brandon understands San Antonio pretty well, the RCW promoter, and he wants to shoot for July 6th. And, it's at the property, so Ross and I are super happy about it. And it's on Sundays, so it doesn't affect our AW schedule.
Yeah.
But I will tell you all something right now. April 2nd on Wednesday, Ross and I will be at in Illinois. I can't pronounce the city.
Peoria.
Peoria, yeah, there it is.
You've never been to Peoria before?
I was watching UFC the day I found out, and I was thinking of Alex Pereira, so I got the two confused.
And now it's confused in your head forever.
Yeah. We're going to Alex Pereira on April 2nd.
Illinois. That'd be a great event. Hey, but back to July 6th real quick. I mean, I just putting the thought out there, not guaranteeing it, but a thought that maybe that's a good opportunity for you to honor Bill Mercer.
That's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Absolutely. That's something we're gonna throw in there.
Yeah,
the Vaughn Eric Ranch.
Consider it done. Yes. I mean, I wish we'd done it last show. Let's definitely do it this show.
Yeah. Kevin, great to have you on again today. Thanks for sharing a little bit of behind the scenes with Bill and some fun times you had with him. And thanks for remembering him here on the podcast. Guys, good to see you too. And looking forward already to next week. You guys have a memory, those of you watching or listening right now, of Bill Mercer, maybe a match. People are always commenting. And I love this. Keep your comments coming on these podcasts. If you're not subscribed on YouTube yet, hit that subscribe button and don't miss another episode of the Claw Pod. We'll see you back next week.